Welcome to Election Night 2020. Today we have the incumbent president, Donald Trump, with his running mate, Mike Pence, versus the senator from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, with his running mate, Bill Nelson, the senator from Florida. Here's the 7 o'clock p.m. poll closings. State of Kentucky is projected to go to Donald Trump. Can now project the vice president's home state. 11 electoral votes will be projected to go to Donald Trump. Vermont's 3 electoral votes we project will go to Joe Manchin. 9 electoral votes from South Carolina. Too early to call, not necessarily too close to call. We just don't have enough information to call this state yet. Georgia, 16 electoral votes at stake, too close to call. 33% of the vote for Joe Manchin, 32% of the vote to Donald Trump. Virginia's 13 electoral votes is too close to call. 32% of the vote has gone to Joe Manchin. To Donald Trump's 33%. Here's the electoral vote count. 19 electoral votes for Donald Trump to 3 for Joe Manchin. Here's the 7:30 p.m. poll closing. The state of West Virginia, Joe Manchin's home state, is too close to call, but Joe Manchin has a significant lead with their 5 electoral votes. Ohio, 18 electoral votes, too close to call. Trump has a 3-point lead on Joe Manchin. North Carolina's 15 electoral votes, too close to call. Joe Manchin has a 1-point lead. South Carolina we can now project going to Donald Trump. 9 electoral votes for Donald Trump. Here's the electoral vote count. 28 electoral votes for Donald Trump to 3 for Joe Manchin. Here's the 8 o'clock p.m. poll closings. State of Tennessee, 11 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. State of Oklahoma going to Donald Trump, 7 electoral votes. Alabama's 9 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. Mississippi's 6 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. Missouri's 10 electoral votes we project now will go to Donald Trump. Illinois' 20 electoral votes will go to Joe Manchin. 20 electoral votes from the state of Pennsylvania, a flip from 2016. This was a Trump state from 2016. But Joe Manchin has won the state with a significant lead. We apologize for that. Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes going to Joe Manchin. 71% of the vote has gone to him. Rhode Island's 4 electoral votes going to Joe Manchin. New Jersey's 14 electoral votes we project now will go to Joe Manchin. Delaware's 3 electoral votes we can now project will go to Joe Manchin. 10 electoral votes from the state of Maryland going to Joe Manchin, the most liberal state in the United States. But the most liberal part of the United States is the District of Columbia. 3 electoral votes going to Joe Manchin. Florida's 29 electoral votes is too close to call. Joe Manchin and Donald Trump are in an exact electoral vote tie. This is Joe Manchin's running mate's home state, Bill Nelson. This is his home state. Connecticut, 7 electoral votes, too early to call. Not necessarily it is too close to call, but we just do not have enough information to project the state yet. New Hampshire's 4 electoral votes is too close to call. 49.3% to Joe Manchin to 50% of the vote to Donald Trump and New Hampshire's 4 electoral votes. Maine's 4 electoral votes is too close to call. 47.1% of the vote to Joe Manchin to Donald Trump's 43.7%. Here's the electoral vote count. Now Joe Manchin has a lead. 88 electoral votes Joe Manchin to 71 for Donald Trump. Here's the 8:30 p.m. poll closings. The one new state of Arkansas. Arkansas' 6 electoral votes has gone to President Trump. Virginia, we can now project will go to Joe Manchin, 51.3% of the vote going to Joe Manchin to Donald Trump's 43.7%. Now back up in New England, 7 electoral votes will be projected to go to Joe Manchin, 60.1% of the vote to Joe Manchin to Donald Trump's 37.8%. Here's the electoral vote count. 108 electoral votes to Joe Manchin to Donald Trump's 177. Here's the 9 o'clock p.m. poll closings. The state of Louisiana has been projected to go to Donald Trump. 8 electoral votes. 38 electoral votes now projected to go to Donald Trump from Texas. We project Kansas will go to Donald Trump. 6 electoral votes. South Dakota's 3 electoral votes will be projected to go to Donald Trump, along with North Dakota's 3 electoral votes. Heidi Heitkamp was campaigning here hard for Joe Manchin, but Joe Manchin will come up as a loser in the state. Wyoming's 3 electoral votes, one of the most conservative states in the Union, we project will go to Donald Trump. Arizona's 11 electoral votes, we can now project will go to Donald Trump. Georgia's 16 electoral votes, now we can now project will go to Donald Trump. Colorado's 9 electoral votes will be projected to go to Joe Manchin. New Mexico's 5 electoral votes, we can now project will go to Joe Manchin. Michigan, a flip from 2016, 16 electoral votes in the Manchin column tonight. Another flip from 2016, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes, we can now project will go to Joe Manchin tonight. New York, 29 electoral votes going to Joe Manchin. This is Donald Trump's home state, but Donald Trump has lost in his home state of New York, 29 electoral votes going to Joe Manchin. Now we can now project Ohio's 18 electoral votes will flip from 2016. 18 electoral votes going to Joe Manchin. Florida, another flip from 2016. 29 electoral votes going to Joe Manchin, Bill Nelson's, his running mate's home state. West Virginia, Joe Manchin's home state. This is a very conservative state, but Joe Manchin will be the projected winner with their 5 electoral votes. And Minnesota is too close to call. Joe Manchin has a 4-point lead on Donald Trump in Minnesota's 10 electoral votes. We apologize for not showing the projection screen for Nebraska, but Nebraska has been projected to go to Donald Trump. 170 electoral votes to Donald Trump, to 237 for Joe Manchin. Here's a 10 o'clock p.m. poll closing. The state of Nevada has been projected to go to Joe Manchin, 6 electoral votes. North Carolina's a flip from 2016, 15 electoral votes going to Joe Manchin, 97% of the vote is in. Minnesota's 10 electoral votes, we can now make an earlier call than in 2016. Joe Manchin is the projected winner of their 10 electoral votes. Utah's 6 electoral votes will be projected to go to Donald Trump. Montana is too close to call. John Tester, another Democratic senator in a conservative state, was campaigning here hard for Joe Manchin, and that has paid off because this state is currently too close to call. Joe Manchin has a 1-point lead on Donald Trump with their 3 electoral votes. Iowa, another crucial state for each candidate, 6 electoral votes at stake. Joe Manchin has a 5-point lead. Here is the electoral map. 268 electoral votes for Joe Manchin, two electoral votes away from the presidency to Donald Trump's 176 electoral votes. Here's the 11 o'clock p.m. poll closings. The presidency has flipped from 2016. Joe Manchin will be elected president of the United States. He will be called President-elect Manchin. He has won the presidency by winning the state of California, Washington, Oregon, and Hawaii, putting him over the top. He has received 59.6% of the popular vote to Donald Trump's 39.8%. He will be now called President-elect Joe Manchin. Donald Trump will be unseated in this election race. And the vice presidency has also flipped. Mike Pence will no longer be vice president. 39.8% of the popular vote has gone to him, to Bill Nelson's 59.6%. Come January 20, 2021, Joe Manchin and Bill Nelson will be inaugurated to the presidency and the vice presidency. The Senate has also been retained to the Democratic columns. 54 Democratic senators. Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, the Democrats now have a lead on the Republicans with Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell has also been unseated in this election race, so he will no longer be a senator from Kentucky. The United States House has also been retained in the Democratic column. 247 representatives. Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic column will win in the House of Representatives. They will win the majority. California, 55 electoral votes. We project going to Joe Manchin, the biggest prize in the union. After he has been elected president, he only needed 2 of those 55 electoral votes, but he will receive all 55. Hawaii's 4 electoral votes will be projected to go to Joe Manchin. Washington State's 12 electoral votes we project will go to Joe Manchin. Oregon's 7 electoral votes will go to Joe Manchin. Montana, a flip from 2016, 3 electoral votes going to Joe Manchin. John Tester's campaigning for Joe Manchin paid off in the state. 3 electoral votes we project will go to Joe Manchin. Iowa, another flip from 2016. Joe Manchin is a projected winner of their 6 electoral votes. Idaho's 4 electoral votes we project will go to Donald Trump, although it doesn't really matter at this point. Here's the electoral vote count. 355 electoral votes will go to Joe Manchin, to 180 electoral votes to Donald Trump. Here's the 1 a.m. poll closings. Alaska, one new state of Alaska, 3 electoral votes will be going to President Trump. Here's the electoral count. 355 electoral votes to Joe Manchin, to 183 electoral votes to Donald Trump. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. My next video will be Doug Jones versus Donald Trump. Thank you all for watching. I hope you like my Fox News election prediction video. Comment down below whether you like my Fox News election video, my Fox News election better, or my CNN election better. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.